Welcome to Sitting Meditation Tips and Tricks Part 3. In the first two videos of this three-part series, we talked about mats and cushions and postures. In this video, we're going to be focused mostly on what to do with this puppy right here, the brain, the mind, okay? Before I get to that though, I just want to mention a little bit about the postures again, really quickly. In the previous video, I talked about all the different postures, but I would say it's really important to recognize that you can switch between these postures even while practicing sitting meditation. So let's say right now I'm currently in the Burmese position and I want to switch over to the Zaza position. Check this out. And it could be for a variety of different reasons. It could just be that you want to change it. But generally it's because a foot's fallen asleep, you have an ache or something like that. So instead of feeding into that neural pathway of impulsive instant gratification, try to sit with it for a few breaths. Breathing in, I'm aware of the pain. Breathing out, I'm aware of my perception of discomfort. Breathing in, aware of the desire for instant gratification and impulsive movement. And breathing out, I know I'm in full control of my body, etc. Right? If you can get 2-3 breaths before moving, then on the fourth breath, breathe in and breathe out. So move out one leg on the in-breath and the other leg on the other end of the breath. Breathing in, pull my leg back. Breathing out, tuck the other leg back. And again, I'll adjust the height in order to get my butt up a little bit higher and comfortable. Okay, so I have now done some what we call mindful movement with my moving from one posture to the next. This also works if you have an itch. Let's say I have an itch on my neck right now. Breathing in, I do 3 full breaths with the itch. And on the fourth, breathing in, scratch, breathing out, let it go. Okay? So that way, any movement becomes a part of your sitting experience. Alright, so what are some tricks to deal with the mind? Before we get there, I just want to say that the mind is going to be very busy at different times of the day, and there's better times to sit than others, okay? In the morning and at night tend to be the best time to practice sitting meditation because your mind isn't so busy. If you've just woken up, you're probably still so sleepy that it's not going to work very well. It might be better to start off with some sort of yoga practice or mindful movements, and now in order to kind of help the body to waken up and loosen up so you're not so stiff before you start to sit. Okay, same thing with at night. If you wait too late, you might be too sleepy and you might not be able to focus. So just before you get tired, your brain is somewhat alert and able to focus, but not super busy and not sleepy. Those are 2 of the best times to sit. Pretty much everything else in the middle of the day becomes a little bit more difficult because the mind becomes so busy with school and work and all sorts of other stuff that's happening in our lives. It's not impossible, so I'll show you some tricks that can kind of help out to allow the brain to relax and become more at ease. This isn't to say that having a mind that's less busy is super important. It's not even necessarily the goal of sitting meditation. We might be still hung up on this idea that we need to clear our mind of all thought while sitting. That's not necessarily what we need to do. Okay? When we sit, we just sit. We sit with what is. We sit with what is going on in the present moment. Okay? So it can help to sit and calm just by focusing on the breath. But we're like, wow, man, I can't focus on my breath worth a damn because my brain keeps doing this and that and the other. So here are some things that can help out with that. Let's say you're sitting sometime in the middle of the day, you're not in the morning at night, or maybe you are sitting in the morning at night and you still can't focus that well. I would start off by trying to figure out how focused you are. This is a counting technique that some people use as a formal practice. I use it as a measuring stick. So as I breathe in, 1. Breathing out, 1. That's 1 full cycle of breath. Breathing in, 2. Out, 2. In, out, in, out. And I keep going for several breaths until I get to the point where I can't remember what number I'm on. Don't go higher than 10. If you get to 10, just start over again. But if you get to like 6 or 7, you can't remember what number you're on, just start back over at 1 again. And then see how high you can get. Try this at least 3 times. That will give you a good average Let's say you get 3 the first time, and then 6 the second time, and then 4 the next time. That means you're hovering somewhere around 4 or a 5 on average. And I equate that to a percentage, so that would be about a 40 or 50% attentiveness or alertness. So if you're getting 3 on average, you're about 30%. If you're at 8 on average, you're about 80% focused, okay? That is just giving you information. That doesn't really do anything other than just give you something to work with. If you know your percentage, let's say you get to 10 3 times in a row, just let it go. At this point, if you've practiced with it 3 times, let the tool go. It's only serving a point to give you information. Let's say you've gotten 30% and very consistently you can't get past 3, 4, or 5, somewhere around there. Here's a technique called a mindful movement that you can incorporate into your sitting practice. Breathing in, I bring my arms up, and breathing out, I bring my arms down. Breathing in, and breathing out. Okay, so remember, the brain is a lot like a puppy. It's untrained, and it will pee on the carpet, it will chew up your shoes and your furniture, and it's very destructive if left untrained. So in this case, this complex piece of equipment is not going to be happy just focusing on the breath, so you got to throw the puppy a bone, okay? This, for some reason, is just enough to throw that puppy a bone, and it allows it to focus in a little bit more. If, for some reason, that's still not enough for the puppy, and it still can't seem to focus past 3 or 4 or 5, then I would suggest using your eyes. Breathing in, I open my eyes, and breathing out, I close my eyes. In, open, out, close. Okay. So some people might say that this is not a part of sitting meditation. You need to stand still and fight through the pain and never move your arms and never open your eyes. You know what? Let people say what they want. This is what I'm suggesting. If your mind is already super busy and active and you can't bring your focus in on something very simple like your breath, then opening and closing your eyes and adding arm movement is really only helping you to focus in more than where you were before. So it's not a detraction from sitting meditation, it's an aid, right? This is why I call it a tip or a trick, is it actually slowly is bringing your focus and your attention in to what's going on within your body and your body's movement and things. If you find that you can start to focus using the measuring stick, 50, 60, 70, 80%, now that you're using your eyes and your arms, you can drop the eyes and the arms. Go back to just practicing sitting meditation with your eyes closed and your arms at rest. And let's see where you can get there, right? And sometimes I go back and forth until, and I spend maybe 10, 15 minutes doing that. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a decent sitting meditation practice for me. It's just me practicing, training the puppy. It's not wasted time or energy. It's very useful. Alright, so that's pretty much all the tips and tricks that I got at the moment. I have other things, but I think that'll get you started. And if you have anything else, if you have any tips or tricks that you would like to let me know about, please let me know in the comments. If you have any questions about any of the stuff in the first 3 videos that I just made, please ask them. I'm really happy to help out. And don't forget to follow, like, or subscribe. That way we can continue to practice together. And I really wish you well on sitting, and enjoy your breathing.